There's something magnetic about a man who walks into a room and doesn't need to speak. He doesn't try too hard. He doesn't seek the spotlight, yet it finds him. Women notice. Something ancient stirs in them, they don't know why, but they feel it. It's not just his looks, it's not the clothes, it's energy, presence, a frame of being, and that's where it all begins. Most men think attraction is about tactics, what you say, what you do, what lines you use, but that's surface level. The raw, uncomfortable truth is that obsession starts from who you are. It's in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. In the micro, expressions that reveal your inner confidence. In the calm you hold under pressure. In how you don't flinch where others fold. There are mindsets, deeply masculine ones that, once embodied, trigger something primal, not just attraction, not just interest, obsession, a hunger she can't explain, and the first mindset, the one most men try to fake but few truly live, is presence. True presence, grounded, unapologetic, solid. Presence isn't just being physically there, it's attention. Focus, stillness. When you're with her, not half scrolling, not checking who's behind her. Your energy is anchored, stable, and she feels it, even if she tries not to like you. Even if she tells herself she won't fall, her body responds. There's a reason warriors practiced stillness. Why emperors valued silence over noise. Because presence signals power. Not loud, not boastful, internal, quiet, controlled, addictive. When you're fully present, she feels seen. Not judged, not rushed, just seen, and for a woman that's rare, sacred, dangerous, but presence only works when it's real. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to listen while your mind drifts. You train it through breath, through meditation, through fearless eye contact, through silence without rushing to fill it. Because when a man is at peace in silence, the woman fills it with her desire. Presence is the foundation, but the second mindset, the amplifier, is detachment. Emotional non-neediness, the most misunderstood trait of all. Most men chase, they overinvest, they try too hard, too soon, and kill the spark. But the man who's detached doesn't chase, he chooses, he observes, he lets her come closer while he stays centered. The wild part, the less he needs her, the more she needs him. Neil Strauss wrote about this. Mystery fuels attraction. But it goes beyond that. Detachment shows in your energy that your self-worth isn't up for negotiation. That her beauty doesn't buy emotional access, that you can admire her, but you don't crave her. This isn't coldness. It's standards, boundaries, knowing your cup is full, that your life is rich, with or without her. And when a woman feels that, truly senses that, you flip her emotional world. She starts wondering, why isn't he chasing? Why isn't he texting first? Why is he so calm when I pull away? That's when the obsession begins. When she's emotionally uncertain. Not because you're playing games, but because you're emotionally sovereign. And in response, she starts chasing, investing, craving, you by doing less, provoke more. That's the paradox. The man who needs her the least becomes the one she wants the most, because real detachment is rare. It's masculine, it's alpha, it's magnetic, but here's the catch, don't fake it. If you're pretending not to care, but checking your phone every 10 minutes, she'll sense it. Women feel through masks. Real detachment is built on a life that excites you, a mission, a fire, a direction bigger than her. And when that's real, she knows, she sees it in your calm, in your eyes, in your ability to walk away not as a threat, but because you can. Because you respect yourself too much to collapse over anyone. Presence, detachment, they're not tricks. They're foundations. Without them, no tactic matters. With them, everything becomes effortless. She checks your social, rereads your texts, analyzes your silences, and the best part, you didn't try harder, you just were. The next layer of psychological magnetism, unpredictability, not chaos, not childishness, but strategic unpredictability. When a man is too available, too easy to decode, her mind relaxes. No mystery, no tension, no spark. But when you keep her guessing subtly, smartly, you stimulate her imagination. And that's where seduction lives. Women crave emotional stimulation. That's why they love plot twists, mystery, drama. And when you become the source of that stimulation, not in a toxic way, but in a grounded, self-aware way, you become unforgettable. Maybe one night you're reflective, vulnerable, sharing a deep story. The next, you vanish into your mission. Then return focused, clear, recharged, and she can't pin you down. That drives her wild. Predictability kills polarity. Safety feels boring, but a man who shifts, from playful to stoic, intense to teasing, activates the feminine mind. She needs resolution. So even if she says she's over you, her mind replays you, because she never fully figured you out. That's the magic, not being random but being emotionally dynamic. Most men are flat, predictable, easy to solve. You leave questions. Questions trigger thoughts. Thoughts breed obsession. Let's go deeper, because the next layer most men avoid is emotional depth. Most men stay at the surface job, gym, car, none of that lingers. None of that keeps her awake at night. But the man who dares to go deep, who's not afraid of emotion, who masters it, leaves a mark. He shares pain, but not as a victim. He reveals stories, but through strength. He shows softness without losing edge. That contrast, strong yet sensitive, dominant yet kind. That duality is what makes her feel alive. But this too must be real. Emotional depth can't be faked. You either face yourself, or keep skating on the surface. And wonder why nothing sticks. A man who owns his journey, but isn't defined by it, is unforgettable. And she feels it in how you speak, how you listen, how you respond, not react. Her desire becomes emotional, not just physical. Sex sparks, but emotional resonance is the glue. She remembers how you made her feel. She replays the moments, the glance, the silence, the truth that hit her chest like thunder. That's what lingers. That's what haunts in the best way. Obsession doesn't grow from chasing or performing. It grows from essence, your being, your restraint, your depth. That's when she thinks about you mid-day. Late night, not because of what you said, but because of who you are. Now, we go further into a fusion that few men master. Playfulness with authority. Not fake dominance, not loud alpha energy, but relaxed authority, direction without force, calm confidence. Leadership without needing to be followed. Most men swing to extremes, too rigid, always trying to be in control, or too soft, hiding behind humor. One is tiring, the other forgettable. But the man who blends edge with lightness, the one who can make her laugh and silence her in awe, he is unforgettable. Because she feels the edge, she knows he could devour her, but doesn't need to, and that restraint is electric. This is calibrated leadership. You guide without pushing. You tease without offending. You challenge without hurting. You let her feel your power but never use it against her, and that earns respect, craving, even surrender. Not through demand but instinct. A woman addicted to a man's presence, his mix of fire and ease, is hooked. Because when she's with him, she feels safe, alive, desired, not from what he gives, but from who he is. Now we step into a deeper frame, the man on a mission, not a side hustle, not a title, a calling, a life force. A purpose so personal, it orients everything. When a woman meets a man like this, everything shifts. He's not looking to be completed. He's not orbiting her world. She enters his, and that's a world she wants to stay in. Purpose creates polarity because a man in motion is rare, not emotionally available 24/7, not desperate. He's building something bigger, and that's intoxicating. She sees it in your discipline, in your boundaries, in your no without apology, in your presence when you're there, but your absence when duty calls. That balance. It's powerful. The less access she has to your time, the more she values it. Rarity equals value, and purpose breeds that rarity. Not just short-term attraction, but long-term obsession, because purpose signals direction. Direction signals leadership. And leadership without ego is sexy. You're not seeking validation. You're chasing evolution, and ironically, that's when women chase you. But there's more. Obsession also comes from how you make her feel in her feminine, in a world that demands women be strong, dominant, independent. many secretly crave the opposite. A space to let go, not from weakness but to feel. And when you show up grounded, steady, directional, she melts. She doesn't have to guard herself. She can be playful, emotional, sensual because she feels safe. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she opens. And in that openness, obsession grows, not from control but from presence. You don't overreact. You don't flinch at her waves. You hold steady, and in that steadiness, she softens, becomes more herself, more alive, and that emotional imprint. It lasts. She's not addicted to your attention. She's addicted to who she becomes around you, and that's the hook she can't break. And finally, the trait that amplifies all others, sexual self-control. Most men collapse at the first sign of intimacy. They become agreeable, passive, eager, but the man who remains grounded in the face of temptation, he activates something else. Self-mastery. She doesn't obsess over men who want her like everyone else. She obsesses over the one who doesn't need her, but still desires her. Who can sit in the heat of desire and not lose himself? It's not repression, it's channeling, it's letting her wonder. That tension, that edge drives her insane. She questions, why didn't he kiss me? Why didn't he go further? And that loop, that suspense, creates obsession. Because it activates all three centers, emotional, physical, psychological, and finally, we end where it all begins, unapologetic authenticity. In a world of filters, of mimicry, of performance, the man who's real becomes unforgettable, not flawless, not perfect, but true, not hiding behind bravado, not playing a character, but being, eyes forward. Spine straight, values intact, no apologies, no performance, no begging, just presence, truth, and she feels it. Deep, primal, subconscious, she may not know why, but she remembers you. You didn't just impress her. You moved her, so if any part of this hit home, if it shook something awake inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment, tell me which of these mindsets you've already owned, and which ones you're ready to master. Because this isn't about tricks. This is about transformation.